Well, hello everyone. It's Donna here from Blind and Homesteading, Blind and Knitting. Today we're going to be cooking some bulk meals for my nieces. One has had a baby and one is expecting a baby. So I have got everything a little prepped and ready to go, and hopefully it'll all go really smoothly. I'm hoping to get it all in one video. So I live in New Zealand in the lower half of the North Island. It's the middle of winter here, but it's a beautiful day. So we've had a stunning winter. We have had a few days of rain, which has made our lambs start lambing. So Mr. Farmer is out doing his missions out there. And so I thought I would, or having said that, I've just heard his quad bike, so he might be back. He didn't have much fun this morning. He had a couple of lambs he had to lamb himself, and a couple of dead ones, and couple of living ones, so it wasn't much fun this morning. But anyway, back to the cooking. I am going to make curried sausages. I am going to use my mother's recipe that she used to make them all the time as a memory. Now, we don't have them at home because Stuart can't eat curry, but I'm going to keep a little bit away for my lunch, my work lunches, because that's the opportunity for me to be able to eat the things that I love that Stuart doesn't eat, is to make myself some for lunch. But I'm going to make some meals for my nieces. So curried sausages is first, and then I'm going to make meatloaf for both families, and then I'm going to make sweet and sour chicken. So I am hoping to get going. I'll show you what I've done. I'll move it down. I've got everything all prepared, and just bear with for a moment. Me again, sorry, I had to stop that. Mr. Farmer turned up. Look what he's brought me. I sent him on a little mission to see if he could get some lemons from my sister-in-law who lives down the road, and he found a few lemons. I'll show you those. They're not the greatest, but they might be okay because I just need some juice. What I'd like to do is, we went out for dinner some time ago and we had a chicken meal at a Vietnamese restaurant, and it was a lemon sauce. I'd like to try and replicate it. I think it was, I sort of, took note while I was eating it. I could definitely taste a tad of soy, but it was very lemon and slightly thickened. So I'm just going to have a wee go and have a play. I'm going to Google lemon sauces and see what comes up. But he came back with these as well. So I'm going to put those in a vase, which I've just put there. I'll have those behind us. Hopefully we can see them while I am. But I can certainly smell them. They're just the prettiest. And it's a sure sign spring's on its way. So hopefully you'll be able to spot them every now and then. I think, oh yes, you can see them there. Yep. So that's good. Right, where was I? I've got my apron on. I don't wear my apron very often, but I figured I'm kind of just want to get this all done, and so I'm just going to keep going. And my washing machine's just finished to load, and my dishwasher's just finished to load, so those are jobs I've got to do later. So it's an all-on day, and I think I'm getting milk delivered. Right, first one is Mum's curried sausages. Normally what I would do is, I like chipolatas, which are the long, thin sort of breakfast sausage. I would boil them gently until they cooked through, and then while they're cooling, give the pot that I boiled them in a little rinse, and cook the veggies ready for them to go into. But I think I said it in my last podcast, I have bought this brand. Oh, it's Pam's, not Hella's. They're a pre-cooked sausage, and I simply bought those because I'm cooking for town kids who I know probably would prefer just one of those sort of sausages. So that's what we're going to use. And I don't have to pre-cook them because they're already cooked, so I can cut those up while the veggies are cooking. So in this big pot, I'm cooking for 2 families and a few of my lunches. I'm going to try and cook for about 3. I'm going to triple. I'm not going to give you ingredients, but I've got all my carrots all cut up. I figured you didn't want to watch me cut carrots. So I've got all my carrots cut up. I don't peel my carrots. Modern day carrots are so much different to old-fashioned carrots. In my day when I was young, they were big, thick, hard-skinned things, and you really had to peel them. But nowadays, as long as they're clean, don't peel them. So carrots are all chopped up. Now, the past to me gave me a gift of cut up onions. So these are onions that I have frozen in the past. all sliced up. I just bought a whole lot when they were cheap and put them through my kitchen whiz and bagged them up. So I'm going to put those in now. Because I'm doing 6 meals, I'll wash those bags and keep them for the next lot of onions. Because I'm doing 6 meals, I really want sort of 3 meals, tripling it. I really want 3 of these, but I've only got 6 left in my whole pack, and of course I want some for the meatloaf and the chicken. So what I have found in my cupboard is some dehydrated onions. So I'm just going to put some dehydrated onions in as well. So that's 1, 2, and a big handful of those. That kind of makes the 3 that I would put in, 1 for each of the 3 lots. So that's onions, carrots. Now we don't eat a lot of frozen veggies either, and Stuart, Mr. Farmer, does not enjoy corn, so I found some peas and corn, and I'm going to put those in. This is the advantage of this, you can just throw whatever you've got. What else do I need those for? Do I need to use them all up? I might put some in. So what I've got here is grated carrot for my meatloaf. I don't know if I want peas and corns in my meatloaf, but carrots is fine. I will maybe put the rest of them in. I've got more carrots cut up here ready for the sweet and sour. And it doesn't really matter what veggies go in. It's just, they're a good broad general one. I do have some sweet corn here as well. I actually think I've got enough, so I might leave those. Excuse me, I'll just put them back in the freezer over here because I don't want them to thaw while we're doing this. So they're back in the freezer because I think I've got enough of those ones. I do also have a wee bag here of, again, past me, thanking me, of some frozen, what have we got in here? We've got carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, all sorts of veggies, so they're going to be really handy in the chicken dish. So I'm going to put most of those in the chicken dish and some of them in this one. And there's a whole lot of stuff out of my freezer already used up. I'll wash those bags and I'll keep those away again for onion, because onion does sort of smell through things. So the 3 dishes, I'll bring you down, gosh, probably so that you can see what I'm doing down here. See if you can make sure you can see me. So what I've got here is my big pot for my curry sausages. Now that's got what I've just put in. I've shown you these before, these little clicky things, haven't I? That so much better than the ties. I must buy some more. So that's my one for my curried sausages, big pot. This is my grated carrot for my meatloaf, and this is my vegetables for my sweet and sour. And in true Donna way, I've got just as much grated carrot on the bench as I have. Now I've got these ready to put things in. So I was going to get to the op shop and buy some cheap casserole dishes and put them in those, but to be quite honest, I didn't get there. I've had a really busy week last week and it didn't happen, so I did an online order, and so I brought some of those. So that's what that is. Right, let's get the stuff in here. So Mum's recipe, we always, obviously it's curried sausages, so we need curry, and I'm going to put it in by love. I usually put sort of a good heaped teaspoon for one lot, so I'm going to put three in. You can add more later, but you can't take it out, so I don't want to overdo it. So I will leave it out because I might need to add some later. Pepper. Pepper is very strong when it's fresh. It's just beautiful. I love pepper, love pepper, and obviously got that from my father, because Mum said he used to put pepper on his meal, and when she took his plate away after he'd eaten, he had a ring of pepper around the table because he'd put that much on. So I can understand that, I can relate, but I won't put much in, again, just for a little bit of flavour, because it's for young kids, family meal, and fresh pepper bought like that in bulk can be very strong. It's interesting when you buy it like that how much fresher it is and how strong it is when you buy from supermarkets when it's probably been sitting in storerooms and etc for a long time. It's not near as strong. So yeah, just be aware if you do start buying bulk from somewhere like I say in New Zealand, we've got bin in down where I am, it will be stronger. So pepper, good old-fashioned salt, of course, and I'm going to put, no, my mum didn't put chicken stock. I'm just going to put three halves in, 1 1/2. My mum didn't put chicken stock in her curried sausages. That was it, pure and simple. But I'm just going to put a little bit of chicken stock in, just to bring out the flavours and just give it a little bit more depth that I think is nice. So I buy in bulk, and again it's taken me years to work up to buying in bulk, so do not worry. Chicken stock is very salty, so I'm just going to put a tablespoon in. And again, as I say, we can add, but we can't take out. So I'll keep that out as well. So, right, I'm going to fill that with water, and shall I put some onion powder and garlic powder in? I think I will. I think I will just put a little bit of each in. Just, where's my tablespoon there? Just maybe a teaspoon, that's what I'll do. I'll do a teaspoon of garlic powder, and this is just cooking with love, really. It's just cooking with gut feeling and love. That's onion powder. Again, as I say, I spend half my time looking for where I've put the lid. I should always put it back in the same place. Can't see it at all. It will turn up. Oh, there it is, I found it. And garlic powder. Right, so garlic and onion powder I've added. There's that. I'll put the lid back because I've already broken something today. I went into my pantry to get my onions out of the top shelf, pulled my onions out, pulled something else out that fell down and smashed my kombucha jar. So, yeah, there we go. That's broken now. Hey ho, that's the part and parcel. I said to Stuart, if I went mad, it's probably, I know there's a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I've not read it, but I've been recommended it. If I went mad and upset about everything that I broke, smashed, or, you know, whatever, honestly, I would have a such a nervous disposition that I just wouldn't function. So I really try hard to kind of think, oh, well, that's happened. You know, there are worse things to go through. And so I just kind of move on from it. But yeah, now I'm going to fill this with water, and then I'm going to set it to boil and simmer till those veggies cook. And then I'm going to give it a taste test. Then we'll thicken it and add the sausages, and that's it done. So water in there. Cold water, only because why would you put hot water, pay to make hot water in here and then heat it again in the oven? You're wasting money. So you put cold water in, unless you have to put hot water in. Otherwise you're just wasting money boiling twice. Right, I'm going to put it on the big pot. See my flowers over there? I think you can see my flowers over there. Yeah, that's the wrong element. And that is away cooking. So while that is cooking, I am going to cut up my sausages. I'll leave, as I said, I'll leave these out. I'll just get them out of the way so that things are a little tidier while I cut up the sausages, which I have in these bags. And I'll put these, where will I put these? I think I'll put these into this so that they're easy done. Now I quite like them, whoops, that size, sort of slightly mouth bite size. So I just chop, 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 and let's just get through these. So yeah, I did do yesterday, and as you will have seen at the beginning or a different podcast, I did do some hot chocolate mixes for the girls, for the kids. There's 5 children that I'm catering for, 5 children, 4 adults. So one has 3 and a newborn baby, so I don't have to cater for that one, but I do have to cater for it by giving good veggies and healthy food for Mum, and some help for her, because as I remember, when you get home with a brand new baby, you kind of have this thing in your hand and you go, oh, what do I do now? And it's quite disconcerting. It's a funny feeling, if any of you remember have been through it. It's a very funny feeling when you have a newborn coming into the home. You know, you really want them to fit in with your routine, but for the first, especially when you've got other children to manage, and as a social worker, I often say to the parents, it's the other children are much more important at the moment than the newborn, because newborns, you know, basically they just need feeding, keeping clean, and you know, they're fairly, when they're newborns, fairly easy to manage, unless they've got some challenges, of course. It's the older kids that kind of all of a sudden have a lot of attention turned on this new baby that they can struggle with. So it is something to keep an eye on, is how much the older kids, it's going to make a lot, that's good. Feed them up, feed them up. I'm going to put this, once I've made the curry sauce with the veggies in, these are going to go in there just to absorb the curry flavours, and I'll heat it through. They don't need cooking, but I'll heat it through so that the flavours go through. Then I'll just put it in these aluminium bottles and freeze it. And I will take nest number 1 with baby, first newborn baby. Hers tomorrow. Get those dropped off, and keep the other in my freezer for nest number 2 to have her bubby. So it's all very exciting. It's, I guess in some ways I do this now because I used to be able to drive, obviously. Well, not obviously. I used to be able to drive because my eye disease is degenerative. So I had full sight until about 45ish, I suppose. Well, I was diagnosed at 26, and I did struggle with night blindness really bad. That's one of the symptoms is night blindness, and I struggled with that really bad from about 26 years old. But when I got to about 40, it actually started to really impact my world. I started to really struggle with seeing things. So it doesn't, it kills the rods and cones from the outside in. So you get like a tunnel of vision. And so it's the side vision. So I was able to drive for a long time till I was about 50. Was I 50? Yes, just after 50. I handed my, well, I didn't have my license, and I've actually still got my license, but I don't drive. I'd be too scared to drive now. But I decided not to drive. I thought when I walked out of my house and walked straight into a side-by-side that was parked out the front, never even saw it, I thought, if I couldn't see a side-by-side right in front of me, how can I see children biking beside me? So I chose not to drive. So I gave up. It's a big pill to swallow. Losing your license and losing your sight. One of the things with losing your sight is you lose your independence in lots of ways because you lose your mobility. So I have a mantra that I really stick to quite hard, and that is do what you can, not what you can't. So if I focus on what I can't do, I'm going to go, you know, so just concentrate on what I can do. So obviously I can't get into town today and to see this beautiful bubby. But what I can do is make them some beautiful meals, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to check on this curry sauce over here. I'll bring you over when it starts to look like it's doing something. Oh yeah, it is starting to do something. It's a lot of sauce. It's going to make a lot of curry sauce, which is good. Yeah, so that's the sausages are cut, the curry sauce is simmering along, so that's number 1. Now the meatloaf is that one there. So again, I'm not going to give you the recipe, but it is one of my mother's old ones again. In fact, I think it might have been my mother-in-law's, but Mum made it similar. But I have added grated carrot just to add a few veggies. There's another sausage floating around. You rebel, you, stay in the bowl. I've got a cup of tea somewhere here. Oh, yep, thirst. One of the things that, thirsty, so if you have a drink floating around, it can knock this over, so that is a risk, of course. I should use a, you know, I call them Tommy Tippies, you know, those cups with the little lip on it, but I don't. One of the things I have started doing when I do these big cooking sessions is I wear orthotic gendals. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Orthotic gendals, because by golly I get backache. I mean, I'm a big albatross. I'm you know, nearly 6 foot. Well, I am 6 foot. In fact, I think I've shrunk half an inch, but I'm 6 foot, and you know, although benches are a good height for me, I spend a lot of time like this, and I get really bad backache, plus I can get tight Achilles and plantar fasciitis. So, you know, those are all great things. So when I do these, I do wear my orthotic gendals, and it does help. Now, that one is sorted or semi-sorted. I'll let you know when that starts simmering, and we can do something with that. So the meatloaf is going to have onion in it. Again, that's not going to be a big enough bowl, but we'll start with that. What I might do, actually, have I got another pot big enough for this? So thankfully, I have some big pots, and it's not in that cupboard. Oh, let's all just mix all this in here, and I'll get a big pot. So we need onions, and I can put dehydrated onions in there because it's going to be cooked for some time, and they will rejuvenate. So I'll do half dehydrated and half. Oh, they smell lovely. I need to put this in a jar, but it was too big. You can see the size of the bag I've been through. That was a whole bag. So I've been through that. I need to put that in a jar. But so I will put one lot of fresh onions in there. Where are my fresh onions? There. One lot of fresh onions in there, so that plenty of onion flavour to it. And breadcrumbs. Now this I've made up myself. This is a lot like that stuffing mix that you buy. I don't know if you get it where you are, but it's a packet of stuffing mix. You just add water and you can stuff your chook with it or make stuffing balls. I had heaps and heaps of bread that had gone a bit stale, so I baked. Oh gosh, I've got some in the oven now. Heck, come turn around and I'll see if you can see what I do. Oh, see if that works. Don't know if you can see my oven. Can you? I've got stale bread in there. Yep, that can go off. Just as well I started talking about breadcrumbs. My goodness, I'd almost forgotten about those. So I made this up. So it's got mixed herbs in it. It's got onion shreds. It's got lots of bread. So I'm going to use this today. So I'll put that in there. I usually put about a cup. So if I'm making double, I'm going to put 2 cups. Oh, it smells gorgeous. That reminds me of home and stuffing and that beautiful smell. So that's the meatloaf. So that's onions, stuffing mix. What else do I usually put it in? I have got somewhere here. Oh, here. I'm going to put this on top. I've got my homemade relish, and I've got one that we've brought, which is a plum chutney that have been sitting there for a while and we haven't used. So I'm going to layer those on top just to sort of glaze them. So they're going to be yummy. But what I think I'll do, oh, I can't because I've mixed it all together, haven't I? I was going to put one in one and one in the other. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, it is hot. I'm going to open a window because I'm starting to get quite hot now. Where's my cup of tea? Shall we go and have a look at the curry sausage mix? See what it's doing. I'll pause you. Let me push the right one because I keep pushing the wrong one. Right, I've moved you to over by the oven just to have a look at the sauce for the curry sausages. I know I can see I'm going to have to add some more water because it's veggie full, and I've still got sausages to add to that. What I might have to do is put the sausages in the containers and not into here, and just have it frozen from there rather than adding them into here, which is what I was hoping to do, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is wait till this is cooked. It's not quite boiling yet. It smells gorgeous. It's got this really creamy, curry, oniony, veggie smell that it just reminds me of home. It reminds me of Mum. Yeah, my mum passed away 12 years ago, 13, gosh, nearly 13 years ago now, on the 20th of August, so next weekend. Yeah, you always miss your mums, huh? Especially with memories. I was listening to, I don't know if you guys have watched Ruth Ann Zimmerman, Homesteading with the Zimmermans. It's a podcast that I love. She was saying it was this morning, I was laying in bed and I was watching her podcast, and she was talking about family memories, and they were harvesting sweet corn, which massive job, but she does have quite a few children, and it appears that they do a bulk of work too, live a wonderful life, and I really like their family values, etc. So I was watching her, and she was saying that when she was growing up, she used to rebel against doing the corn. She used to, argue about husking it and think it was, typical children stuff. I don't want to do it, rebel. And but I did do it. My mum and grandma used to make me do it. And she said, and now my children do it. And of course they rebel. But she said she now looks back on her time doing that, husking the corn, with absolute wonderful fond memories. Family memories about connection and relationships and sitting and talking to each other and all of that. And she said she really wants her children to do it. So she accepts that the kids are going to be a little, resentful's not the word, but a little rebellious about it. But if she strongly encourages them, and then she knows when they grow up, they're going to have those lovely fond family memories as well. And I just thought that was really lovely. And when I smell this curry sausage, I have these memories of being in the kitchen with my mum. Mum she was a single parent, bringing us up after Mum and Dad split up. But before that, they ran a pub, and so she was the cook in the pub. And she was also, when she was younger, a waitress and a cook in other restaurants and pubs. So she's done cooking and baking all her life and wasn't a very good cook. And then she went and worked in the laundry at a school close to her, but in the holidays, etc., she would work in the kitchen. And so we've been around cooking mass food, but bulk food, for years, my sister and I. Particularly my sister, if we do a camp, or my sister usually cooks, she's so used to cooking bulk, and I'm used to cooking bulk. For us, it's a normal, cooking masses of lots of food, which is a challenge when there's just Stuart and I. So hence I'm able to, now that I can afford to, have a little bit of a luxury of blessing it to other people and giving it to others, like today. So that's just starting to come to the simmer now. I'm just going to let that simmer along until they're cooked, and then I will pour that over the chopped sausages, and they're done. How easy is that? I'll taste it. Actually, I might grab a spoon and taste it now and see if it needs anything. I think, considering that it will, the veggies and stuff, sausages will absorb some of the flavours. Nice spicy, not too hot, not like the other day when I tried chili powder and just coughed away. Okay. Yeah, might need a bit more salt later, but I'm not sure how salty those sausages are, and that's why I wanted to put them in and sort of, I'll see how I go. Anyway, yeah, it tastes good. Oh, I don't just pour it in, I thicken it. Now that's Normally my mum used to use flour, and you know, you make a slurry, and I'll do that today and show you through. But I'm going to try arrowroot, simply because I found some at the back of my cupboard, and I figured I've just got to use it, because what's the point of having stuff in your cupboard if you don't use it? So arrowroot is it's like corn flour. It's a good thickening agent, and I haven't used it for years, so it's a memory. It's not a memory for me, but it's a, you know, trying to revisit old skills and use something like that. So I'm going to try with arrowroot. Of course, if it doesn't thicken it, I'll get some flour out. Sometimes flour can go quite gluey. There we go. There's my ramble about memories and sausages. All right, let's go back to the other side of the kitchen. Now, trying a new spot here. So I've just moved you over a wee bit so that you can see what I'm doing. So these veggies are just about cooked. They're a little on the firm side, but I want that because I don't want them overcooked, because they're going to heat, you know, when they heat them up, they'll cook again. So what we need to do is a slurry with, oh, it's way too much water, Donna, with some arrowroot. So I've got a little bit of water in there. I've got about 1/4 of a cup, and again, I'm not going to do measurements. Sorry, I do tend to cook from the heart. So it's really just going to make a paste. So you can use corn flour and water, you can use flour and water, and as I said today, I am using arrowroot. I'm going to see how it goes. That's a bit watery. See how I cook? You can, if you Google quantities, you will get them like a gazillion times over, but pretty much if it was one single batch, but I'm cooking in bulk here, if it was one single batch, I would probably use a couple of tablespoons of arrowroot and maybe not even 1/4 of a cup of water. So let's see how we go. So while it's simmering away, I am going to add slowly my arrowroot into my mix, and I just dribble it in and keep stirring, because if it starts to thicken up, I stop, because you do not want glue. That is the key, is to have a nice sauce but not glue, and that, my friends, I think is just about right, because it will keep thickening a little bit more. That is thickening up nicely, and it hasn't gone lumpy because I've poured it in slowly and kept stirring. So that is your key to it. Should just start coming back up to the boil again, because it's, of course, I've disturbed it and taken some of the heat out, which is starting to come to the boil again now. And yep, possibly could do with a wee bit more. We'll see how it goes when it's got, there's a lot of veg in here, there's a lot of fluid. It's a big pot, huge pot, so I really am cooking probably, I mean, my mum would have made it in, I'll get a pot out there. My mum probably made it in, you know, that's probably about, she probably made it in about that size pot. So yeah, we're doing 2, maybe 3 slices more. Then, so it's a big lot. Might just add a tad more now that it's come to the boil again. It's easier to do a little bit at a time than it is to take it out. You can't take it out. And I did give it a wee taste while I was cleaning up and getting ready to do this stage, and it's lovely. It's I think it's about perfect. It maybe could do with a smidge more salt, but I don't know what the family's like that way. It is reasonably, we're going to call that thick enough. It is reasonably curryish, quite curryish, not enough to go, whoa, but enough to go, oh yeah, that's a curry. But by the time I put the sausages in here, they're going to absorb some of that curry as well. So a lot of that will sort of spread or dissipate through the whole meal. It's not too curryish if the kids are used to curried sausages. But you can tell it's a curried sausage, which is what you want, of course. Of course, of course, of course. So that sauce is done. What we're going to do now is, I was going to add the sausages in here and heat them through. I'm wondering if I can. Let's see if how many I can put in there. I'm just going to grab the sausages because I really would like them to sort of work their way through the sauce. See as many as we can get in there. Wonder how many the oven will wear. Oh yes, we might get quite a few in. We may even get all of them in, which is good. It's down on the lowest heat, but it's on the biggest element, so it gets hot quite quickly. Let's see how we go. Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Why not? Right, they're in. So what I might do is just let those heat through into the sauce. Yum, I'm looking forward to having some of these in my lunch too. So I'm going to make up some small little plastic bags for my lunches, and then I'll make a meal each for these two nieces of mine. A few weeks ago, I forget about the size of families and how much they eat, because as I say, there's only the two of us now. But a few weeks ago I made fried rice for my daughter, and I gave it to her and I said, oh, how was the fried rice? And she said, oh, it was a lovely side. And I was thinking, oh gosh, must have been a meal, but no, it was just a side. So, oops, yeah, there we go. I'm really happy with that. That's really going to be tasty for the kids. It's full of vegetables, and it's yum. And it wasn't too dear. I mean, as I say, I've used the frozen onions out of my freezer and the frozen veg. So, and it's just, you know, if you're buying one of those mixes, one of those pottles, I think those pottles are, maybe I shouldn't guess, because I don't know if you remember or if you've seen the podcast where I made taco sauce flavouring for my daughter. She and my granddaughter both use taco sauce a lot, and I said, look, I'll make one and give you a try, let you try. And I said, while I was talking, I was guessing about how much a packet of taco sauce is, because it cost me next to nothing, because of course I've got all of the stuff in my pantry. And I think I said on the podcast, oh, $2, $1.50 for a packet of taco seasoning. $5.40. So I probably shouldn't even guess the curry sausage premix pottles. They're probably, I don't know, $5, $6. I don't know, I have no idea. But these are not expensive sausages. These are just cheap supermarket brand sausages, and leftover veggies and frozen veg. Certainly you could, and carrots, which I bought a 20 kg of carrots recently and froze a whole lot, and I've still got quite a few in the fridge. They do keep for a long time, and so literally it's cost me the sausages and a wee bit of time, as in T-I-M-E, not T-H-Y-M-E. So we're going to let those simmer along and absorb some flavours. I'm going to let it cool down a wee bit, and then I'm going to pottle them up in these with some tin foil, and that's meal number 1 done. So let's get to the next one. I'll move you back to my bench. Okay, let's get into meal number 2, which is meatloaf. Now, as you know, I've put grated carrot, my mix that I've made with the breadcrumbs, etc., in there. I've divided it in 2 because I think trying to do it all in one is just going to be too big. So what we need to do now is 2 eggs, grab my eggs out of my chooks that I collected this morning. Some of them are a little bit grubby. Now, I don't wash my eggs. I know there's a bit of a, if you wash your eggs, you wash the coating. There's a natural oily coating on the shell to protect it so that germs don't get in it. If you wash your eggs, you are washing that coating off. So you may wash the dirt and a little bit of chook poo that's on the shells off, but you're also risking getting other bugs going in. So I know that some people find that a challenge. I just brush mine, give mine a brush before find a clean spot, give it a brush like that, and make sure I crack it on that clean spot. So that's what I do. Everybody is different, so no judging, please. So that's a nice clean egg, that one actually. Oops, no, that wasn't a shell. So, yep, so I brush, find a clean spot, brush like that, make sure I crack on the clean spot, and that's what I do. So I hope you don't judge. I'm going to wash my hands because I have been touching those eggs. But that's it for me. I think there is more risk. This is my compost bin. Just going out to get the compost later. It's got all my carrot tops and things in it. I think there is more risk in washing the eggs, personally. I've tried to research it, and to be honest, I get arguments on both sides. So I figured I'm just going to do what I feel is right and go from there. I'd love your feedback actually. If you do want to comment, please don't judge what I do, but I'd love your feedback. Right, so 2 eggs. So a teaspoon of salt. This is a half teaspoon little wooden one, but if I put a heaped one in, it's pretty much a teaspoon. So I've got to keep that out because I need that for the next meal. So my mother always used to, because I've been talking about my mum a lot today, it's probably, my mother always used to say a good cook cleans up after herself. So I've got all the other stuff away. Now, as I said, this is quite strong pepper, so I'm only putting in sort of a big pinch really. Mixed herbs are already in my mix, but I'm going to put a few more in because what's the meat like without mixed herbs? Alright, so that can go away. Onion powder and garlic powder. If you look at any packet of anything you buy, there is onion powder and garlic powder in every one. Oh. That's the blind thing. Couldn't even see the bowl. Right, lid. So I need those for the... Do I need those for the next one? No, I think they can go away too. I don't need those for... I'm going to make sweet and sour. I'll leave them out just in case. I can't remember. I have to check them. I sort of follow a recipe, but I don't follow it to the letter. I do just sort of follow my heart. So, milk. We need some milk, and I have cream here, which I'm going to have to use up. So we're having cream in it. So for one of these of sausage meat, this is how we buy our sausage meat, and mince about the same size. You have 1 egg, half a cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of milk, and your spices and herbs. But my mince is in a 700 gram bag. That cost me $13. That used to be a staple, cheap staple, but it's actually got very expensive. So again, I'm just eyeballing it, but that's the milk. Won't matter if it's cream, it'll just make it a little bit more creamier. Yep. A wooden spoon. So that's eggs, milk, mixed herbs, salt, pepper, flavourings, grated carrot, which I don't normally put in, but and breadcrumbs. So now we can add the meat. Oh, oops, we don't want that in there, do we? In the sink. Sausage meat is usually a cheap thing, so I actually can't remember how much. I just bought everything in bulk again, so I can't remember how much the sausage meat was. I could find out, I suppose, but maybe I don't want to know. If you want to make things, you've just got to buy the product, don't you? So, where did I put the scissors there? Won't do that again with the... You're still enjoying my flowers? Where's my other pot? There. God. What I'm hoping to do is get 3 meatloaves out of these 2 pots. So that there's one for each of my nieces and one for us, because we do like a meatloaf. And Mr. Farmer is busy lambing, so he'll be out long hours and early mornings and late nights. So Cliff and I have been working quite long hours, although I'm hoping to take a little bit of time off shortly. Now this is the mince. Add the mince. Right. I've still got 1 mince and 1 sausage meat left. My debate is whether I make the mince into meatballs. How much is there? I suppose that would make a few meatballs. We don't want meatballs in this. Maybe I could keep a little bit of the mince back. Put more sausage meat in. That's a good idea. Up here for thinking, Donna. And then just give this a rinse. Come on. So, maybe if I keep a little bit of the mince back, I can make meatballs. Excuse me sniffing, that's hay fever again. It's that time of the year. I can make meatballs with that lot of mince and add this to the sausages. To the meatloaf, I should say, not sausages. So it'd be a little bit more, I'll put half in each one. Sausage meaty rather than mincy. Still quite a bit of mince in there. I think I usually use about 500 grams. So 700 grams, and I've only taken very little off. There we go. So the only way to do this, guess what we've got to do? In my opinion, is the best way to do it is by hand. So I'm going to wash my hands. They are clean anyway, but I'm going to wash them again just to make sure that they're super clean. And I'm going to get in there and do it by hand. If you use one hand, if the phone rings or anything, you drop something, make a mistake, you've still got a clean hand. So just use one hand. I don't know if I've actually said this. I probably have. My mother only had one hand to use. She had 2 arms, but she had got polio when she was 2 and 3, I think she was. And so she, this is very moist. I might have to put some more breadcrumbs in here, which is fine because I've got some in the oven. I only had the use of one hand. She was stubborn and determined, and that's probably where I get my stubborn determinedness from. And so she just got on with stuff, to be honest. And there's things that, you know, I try now and I think, gosh, how do you do that one-handed? A great example is peeling potatoes. You know, how is that done? Another example was opening a can, because we didn't have modern day equipment like she used to. And doing a bra up. There's so many things you think of. If you only had one hand, how would you do it? She used to tie our hair up in beautiful little plaits, and Trudy and I had both had quite long hair, and she used to take us over to the neighbours, and the neighbour, Mrs. Gunther, she used to plait our hair, but Mum would always put ties in it, bows, ribbons, and she would tie them up with her teeth. So for us, it was just normal. We didn't know any different. And but when Mum got older, her teeth were, she'd used her teeth so much that she'd actually ground them down. I've got a cramp in my hand. She'd ground them down so that they were little. She had to get a new set of teeth. She didn't have her own teeth. And yeah, so how's that, you know? I think this does need a bit more breadcrumbs in it. It just needs, I may have put too much milk in it, or too many eggs, but that's okay. I'm going by gut feeling. It feels very moist, but that's all mixed in, so I'm just going to wash my hands. And I did do, if you remember me saying, in my oven, I'll move this out of the way, in my oven I have leftover breadcrumbs from a loaf of bread I made the other night for tea, and there was leftovers, so I can't be bothered getting my mixer out, so what I might do is just use my starting to lose words, guys. Masher, potato masher, and give it a crush. I got cramp. Look, can't move my hands up. That's mixing that with one hand in the cold. I was cleaning up, getting ready to do this. This is not going to work again. Oh no, it's working. To do this, and God, I found grated potato on up the phone and up the pot plant, and dear old Stuart, dear Mr. Farmer, he is so patient with me. I clean up, and I think I've done a good job, and then he comes behind me and cleans up again, and I say, I've done that, and he says, yes, I know you have. But what he's meaning is, you know, I haven't done it to the best. I will put the rest of this through the blitzer, but I just want enough to add a bit more. Right, let's get some of that stuff that has crumbled up in the middle there. Don't want big bits. Oh, can't get rid of that cream. I don't know, have you been watching the Olympics? If you're a Kiwi, we should be very proud, especially of our cycling and rowing girls. They've been amazing. Yeah, it's been brilliant to watch. Yesterday I spent some time watching synchronised swimming. I love synchronised swimming. I'm going to put this back in the oven, out of the way, so that I don't knock it over, because I know me, and I know I can do that. I might just try mixing that in with a spoon. There we go. That looks a bit better. It just needed that extra something to absorb. I'd added too much moisture, but you know, you only learn these things through trial and error, and the only way to do it is to try it. Most things will turn out, 99% of things will turn out edible, or you can try and do something with them if they don't work out, but most things will work out edible. Right, that's done. I am going to put those into you know, that was a bit silly putting those breadcrumbs in my oven, because I need the oven to cook the meatloaf. So I'm going to cook them so that they have got them, they can either have them, eat them cold, or they can, I'm hoping that when I get my milk, I'm going to make some macaroni cheese so they could have it with mac cheese or something. Seems it's got carrots and onions in it. All they need is a green. So I'm going to pause you for a minute. I'm going to go and set myself ready to put these in their cooking containers, loaf tins, and I'll be back. Oakley dokley, we're back. So I have 3 meatloaf tins, 2 that I've had for like a gazillion years, my old favourites, and 1 that I just bought recently. I actually bought it for bread as well, which has got a opening on it. It's quite long, probably is more for bread. Anyway, so I am going to put baking paper in them because I'm going to use those jams, chutneys on the top. They will make a very sticky meat. So if you squish them up, they sit better in your containers and they don't pop back out. One. 2. You can do all sorts of things. You can butter the pans and flour them and, you know, whatever, but I don't. I just put baking paper in. It's not very sustainable, I know, but we burn the baking paper and put it in my compost. I hope that that's okay. I'm pretty... Right, let's start putting some in. And if I start putting them in, it will help hold that paper down. Doing 3 at the same time is a bit of a palaver, isn't it? Right? Mama Bear might have the big one. Because Mr. Farmer likes his meatloaf. It's a good old Kiwi staple, really. You know, it makes meat go a long way. And yeah, so I'll push that in. How are we going here? Don't want to waste any. That's that roll down. Put that in there. Out of the way. Tuck it into the corners a bit. If you wet your hands, I'll wait till you. I'll wet one of my hands and you can push it into the corners better because it won't stick to you. I think it's going to be a perfect amount. So you want them quite full because they do shrink down. Well, I found they do. Another reason I think they were a bit liquidy is because I put 4 eggs in, and I'm just thinking for one batch, one meatloaf, I put 1 egg in. So that's probably 1 egg too many as well, but I mean, it'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. And as my mother would say, a blind person will be pleased to see it. Okay, I think we've done it, folks. We've got enough to make them quite full, and I will wet my hand in a moment and pat it down and tuck it into the corners. Okay, so I've just wet my hand with cold water and it doesn't stick, see, so you pat it into the corners quite nicely so that it's a good shape. You don't want little bits, oops, sticking up. That's nice. Yep, oh, the perfect size. Perfect. You'd think I'd have measured them out for it. That's worked out really well. Happy with that. Last one. Move that paper over a bit. So this is quite a big one, this one. Oh, the blind person. Been interesting if I'd cooked it with that in, huh? What do you think? Stuart would have thought I was going there. Oh. Okay, excellent. Wash my hands. Wash my hands and fill those bowls up to soak. I might put, because it's really fatty, I might put a bit of dish liquid in there just while they're soaking, just because it's really fatty meat. Oh, sore back. I do get a sore back from cooking in kitchens. My last bench in my last house, when I put a kitchen in, and I made the kitchen quite a bit higher, I think. And I mean, I'm not a builder, so I can't remember, but I think these are 700, and I made my other one 800, because I do feel that I bend over. Now let's put some. Oh, it's stuck. If you can't open them, get a fork, a knife, and just pop like that, and release a bit of air, and there's your open. All it does is just release the air. So I'm going to, I've got some plum chutney, which sounds yummy. Someone's been eating it, Mr. Farmer, no doubt. Put the plum chutney on that one, and that will make a lovely baste. Oops, typical me, very heavy-handed, but that's who I am. Probably made that too thick. I might take some of that off, because you know, I can be heavy-handed, as people tell me, and sometimes less is more. So there we go. That'll melt all over there nicely and spread all over it nicely. So this one's going to be plum too now by the looks of it, because I have to get a clean spoon out. Because don't put as much in, Donna. Come on, there we go. Right, I've got the oven on. I've got the oven on around 190, 200, and these will take a good 45 minutes to cook. So, and I'm going to make this one with the relish, which I know is quite tomato relish. Oh, I need, oh, that spoon won't hurt using that spoon. Right, and that will be the topping on that one. You could lay bacon on it. I've done that a lot. That is really yummy. Let's put the lid back on these. So bacon on the top is really yummy. Grated cheese is really yummy. Tomatoes, you can lay tomatoes on it. That's really yummy. So yeah, I'm going to put these in the oven 45 minutes. I'm going to clean up, and then we will do the sweet and sour chicken, which is basically just a throw in the bag thing, so that won't be so bad apart from chopping the chicken up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, see you soon. Right, I'm back, guys. I've put my feet up for 5, I've cleaned up, I've got everything away that I need away and got everything ready for the next round, which is sweet and sour chicken. So we're going to make these straight into the pans so that it's nice and easy, and I'm going to make one for ourselves as well, so I'm going to do that in the pan. Now the reason I'm doing mine in the pan is I find them quite, if you use a casserole dish and you put it in the freezer, they are very clunky and very big and very heavy. So I yeah, try not to do that, but I don't like aluminium as well. So it's a bit of a catch-22, so I do turn to like plastic bags, but I'm not going to do plastic bags today. I figured this is the best way to do it. So what we're going to do is, we've got all this veggie in here. We've got carrots, onions, peas and corn, and I found in my freezer some bags of capsicums. As it's the middle of winter, it's a bit hard to get fresh stuff this time of year, but I'm going to use all this up because it's been sitting in my fridge for such a long time, and my sister-in-law bought it for to use, so it's been a long time in there. It needs using up. So capsicum, so there's all the vegetables. If I get 3 containers spread out, 1, 2, 3, move the foam or the carrot shred collector, whichever you want to call it. I'm going to put the veggies on first, I'm going to put the chicken on second, and then I'm going to layer it with the sweet and sour sauce. And then they can just throw it in the oven when they want it. You want a bit of everything on the potato, so we're going to go like this. Now we can mix it all up. Can't have any fighting. Yum. So, do not waste any. I always laugh at people that put stuff out of a bowl and then they just don't wipe the bowl out, get everything out, and then throw it in the... I think, what a waste. So I'm just going to spread the veggies out a bit, and these capsicums need breaking up so that they're not all in one lump. It looks fairly even. And yep. Right, so that's the vegetables. You can add whatever veggies you have. If you've got fresh ones, you just add those. When I make it, I like, I do like carrots, but I tend to like them more cut long ways rather than short ways, but I wanted to do just bulk cooking, you just get on with it, so I didn't do long ways. So carrots, onions, capsicums would be my favourite in this, and of course sweet and sour wouldn't be sweet and sour with some pineapple, so I have a ton of pineapple here. Oh, and I thought it's rings, but that's okay, we can cut them up. I'll get a knife. So I'll just cut them like this, so that they're pieces, not rings. You know, again, I always get things wrong. That's just part of who I am. So let's spread some carrot. I don't want the juice in yet. I want to add the juice to the. So I could pour some of that juice in there. Actually, get it out of the way, couldn't I? Just getting it out of the way. Spread them lusciously over everything. I love pineapple. I might eat if there's any left over. If I feel like I've got enough in them, I might have some for afternoon tea. Yeah. pineapple. I'm allergic to apples, so pineapple juice is good. Pineapple is good. Bananas are good. Apples, no way. I even feel a bit ill when I smell them. Sure we've got even amounts in it. And each one. That might be saved for the chef later. I'll have a bit of that later. Right, so spread that all around so that it's not in clumps. Spread evenly. I think there's probably a little bit more on that one and less in that one. Right, so that's that. The next thing I want to do before I get the chicken out, because this weather is to make the sauce. Now, I've got a little recipe here, but it's really just giving me an idea. So brown sugar I've got. So the sweet is the pineapple, the sweet is the brown sugar. And that's raw sugar, but what I can do is use raw sugar anyway, and rather than open that, I will use this because this is raw sugar. So it says 1 tablespoon. It won't matter whether it's brown or raw. So if I'm making 3 lots, 1, 2, 3. Right, raw sugar. Is there raw sugar? I don't need that one. That's good. Right, 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Now this is the sour. I like malt vinegar. I suppose you could use white. I've always used malt. I'm not sure whether you could. I suppose you could. So 1 tablespoon is 3 tablespoons. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Got it here somewhere. There we go. Shake it because it does settle on the bottom, and then you're left with this thick, strong stuff on the bottom. This again is the sour. 1, 2, 3. And half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now I've got garlic powder here, but the next ingredient is ginger, and I've got fresh ginger, but I've only got fresh ginger mixed with garlic. So this is fresh ginger and garlic. So what I might do is, rather than put onion garlic powder in, I will put fresh garlic in. I'm going to get a longer spoon. So it's half a teaspoon, so that's a teaspoon and a half for 3, and another half a teaspoon of ginger, so that's 1 teaspoon. So we want 3 teaspoons, which is about what we've got left. So 1, 2. Better put that on the shopping list to get some more, huh? 3. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so it does say, what is that long one? Yeah, yeah. It doesn't say to put the pineapple juice in, but I do. And that's all it's got in it. How easy is that? So I put the pineapple juice in, just because I do. Let's have a taste and see. I'll give it a good stir. Get a teaspoon to have a taste. Needs a wee bit more tart and sour. It's got a lot of sweet. That's all that pineapple. So I might put another tablespoon of each in, just to balance it up. I noticed one thing, it hasn't got in it is salt, and I'm going to put a wee bit of salt in, not a lot, but put half a teaspoon of salt in. Well, it's almost quarter, just to lift those flavours. Here's my teaspoon, give it a rinse. Oh, that's better. Now it's yeah, it's got as much sour as it's got sweet. Perfect. Really happy with that. Okay, so now I am going to get the chicken pieces. Now strangely enough, I thought I brought breasts, but I haven't. I've brought legs, and it may be because I probably put breasts because I imagined 2 breasts down there, and these may be a substitute, but that's okay because legs are actually quite good because they're a hardier meat and they do take, you know, they're okay with a bit of cooking. So I think there's a bit of fat on them. I'm going to set myself up to cut that fat off, I think, because I need my breadboard, which I put away because I didn't think I'd need it. But yeah, I'd like to get rid of just some of that fat, I think. And my kniff, and my chicken. Let's get rid of some of that fat that's there. Because I don't have the sharpest of knives. I suppose I could get my new knife out. Oh, I might have to. That's not going to work, is it? This knife is not sharp enough. I'm going to say fat is flavour, so I'm not going to worry. So there's 2 adults. I made the pizzas because I thought this was a meal that kids might not eat. So what I thought is to make these, they're actually quite big legs too, to make these for the adults. So I'm going to put enough legs in here for the adults to have. Scored a bit there. 2 legs each. Of course, if they want to share it with their kids, they are welcome to, but I thought it just might be something. So 2 legs each. I know that fat should come off, but I reckon it's fat is flavour, and so I'm going to leave it on. There's quite a bit of fat on it though, isn't there? Oh well. It is what it is. I'll blame being blind if they say. Surely they won't say. I'll say I just didn't see it. So you're in now. You have to defend me. Oh, these are littler ones. These 3, 4. So how many have I got left? 2. 2, 2, 2. So if I halve those, because they're both quite big. Then we can put 1 in each, or if I put the smaller one, yeah, if I put the smaller one in there and halve this one, put that in the middle and that in the middle. There. What do you think? Now I'm going to pour the sauce over it. I'll get rid of that because it's chicken. You've got to be a bit wary with chicken, don't you? You've got to be very careful with chicken. What was I thinking? What I could do is just give them some rice or noodles or something to add to it after. Right, let's pour the sauce on. Make sure I stir it up so that the garlic gets spread evenly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I am really looking forward to trying that. I think it could be very yummy. Right, I can hear a blowfly, so I am going to get these covered up ASAP. Tin foil, foil, there we go. covered up, safe. Oh, stay away, glowflies. One of the problems with living rurally is glowflies. And they are big zubbies. We get them big and horribly bad. So that's that one. Once I've got this on, I can put some glad wrap around them. I don't like using glad wrap. It's just a bit anti-plastic, but in situations like this, it's okay. What is that? Right, got this covered up, which is good. And they can go straight into the deep freeze after I've glad wrapped them. I think in America you call it saran wrap, so saran wrap. Is that something like that? I can't find the dishcloth. Where is my dishcloth? Oh, I keep going. Oh, there we go. It's right in front of me. Right in front of me. Keep meaning to make those fluoro coloured ones. One day I'm going to do it. I've got so many knitting ideas and thoughts, and I've overwhelmed myself, I think, a bit with knitting, and so now I'm struggling a bit. Right, so some glad wrap. What's this? Oh, that's foil. Let's do no, I even had that. Great big catering pack of foil. Oh, there we are. There's the glad wrap. Probably not enough of it. Oh no, got two there. I need a big one of this, don't I? I hate this stuff. It's so hard to use. Right, but in times like this, it is very useful, isn't it? Especially with liquid, which is this one. Quite liquidy, so I don't want to tip it over. Okay, so done. That I might put another one across the other way. Because I've done all my meals. The only thing I thought I might do is, if my milk gets delivered, is maybe make some macaroni and cheese. And that is so easy to do that I gosh, that's fun. That I can whip that up with my eyes closed. I've made that much of it in my life. It's something all of my family, except Mr. Farmer, loves. End. Right, that one's nicely done. Just enough glad wrap in that roll. Put that in the recycler. A bit of a mess to clean up here with this one. Super happy with that. That can go in the recycling. I think we might get a catering pack of glad wrap. I might do it a different way. I might put it on the sharp knife. So funny noises outside. I forgot to talk. I forgot you were there. We've got this dear old dog. He's one of the farm. She is one of the farm dogs. Maid. She's a huntaway, a heading dog. Sorry, not a huntaway. Huntaway is a big woofy dog. They're the ones that at the sheep. And a heading dog is they show eye, so they stare at the sheep and they move like that with the dog. And she has been with us 13 years, I think, 12, 13 years. And so dear old thing is really on her last legs. She's pretty much blind, pretty much deaf, but her body's really healthy. And so she keeps sneaking in here into the house to sleep on Kenzie's bed, because farm dogs are not allowed inside. It's a big sort of very Kiwi, I think, but very, not allowed inside. So I've got the doors open. It's a wee bit chilly, but because I'm busy, I'm not feeling it. But it's so nice to have everything open and let some fresh air in the house. During winter, you always have everything so closed up. And anyway, she sneaks in and she lays on Kenzie's bed. And the other day, Stuart was cutting trees down the front. We had all the dogs out there to give them a run, and they were running around, and she comes sneaking in here and went to sleep on the bed. And of course he couldn't find her, so he was getting grumpy, and I could hear him yelling out, "Maid, maid, maid." So I thought I could let him know that she's here. So he came in, and she didn't want to leave. She just said, "No, thank you. I quite like this bed and the warmth in the house." Didn't go down too well, I have to say. So dear old Mr. Man had to carry her out, literally, because she just, she's very old for a start, but she just wouldn't move. God bless her. Right, they're done. Yay! Let's get the curried sausages into containers. While I've still got the meatloaves cooking in the oven. The curried sausages are ready to put in, and then that's it, unless I make a macaroni cheese later. And I won't show you how to do that today. I make mine in the microwave. I just found that's the easiest and best and creamiest sauce I've ever done. And much, much easier to clean up. So I will do that with you, but possibly not today. Possibly I've done enough. I'm going to get the containers out and put the curry sausages in. Right, where are they? Here they are. 1, 2. 2 left for the meatloaves. And what am I going to do with the other curry sausage, because Stuart won't. Let's fill those first. I have to keep reminding myself to talk. That's going to go on there because it's a bit hot. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's grab myself a ladle. Ladle. Ooh. And the ladle is obviously in the dishwasher. So we're just going to have a spoon. I want to make sure I get plenty of veggies and plenty of sauce in them too, don't I? My sister-in-law dropped off a bit of cooked, what am I talking about? Corned beef before. So it might be me having curry sausages and Mr. Man having oh, they smell good. They smell of memory. They smell of memory. A little bit of mashed potato. That is a good meal. There's a lot there, isn't there? Mind you, they're big families. There's 2 adults and 3 kids, and 2 adults and 2 kids. So they are big families. They're not little. Oh, there's that cramp again. Right, body's giving up. It's had enough. Let's see, I want to fill in. Oh, there's lots still there, so that's fine. Right. I'm going to do the same when my granddaughter has our great-grandchild. I'll cook her some meals too to put in the freezer as well. I'll make sure I get plenty of each, so make sure they've got, I think that one needs more sauce. And I think that one's got plenty of sauce. Could do with a wee bit more, maybe. What are we left with? I'm going to pause you and I'm going to get some plastic bags to put these curry sausages in for my lunches. Okay, let's get this rest of this curry sausages. While I was getting myself sorted, that bloke came in again, so I had covered the sausages. I haven't put Glad wrap over them yet, but I have done tinfoil. So let's get these into these plastic bags for my lunch. Got 4, so we'll see how we go filling them wise. Might be easier to do one and then move them around. Oh. Got a bowl here, so I'll have some for my late lunch as well. So I'm going to make sure I get a bit of everything, bit of juice, bit of veggies. Pour that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did I put the spoon? Oh my gosh. Black spoon. No. Oh, teaspoon. Oh, good. That'll work. Use what you've got. And my old Scottish boss would say, use what you've got and you'll want for nothing. So, seal these up, take the air out of them, and I can freeze those for my lunches. These are brilliant things, these. Whoever invented them, I'm sure they're sitting quite pretty now because they're such an ingenious little thing. That was the messiest lot ever to do. The rest of them were so easy to clean up, but this was a little bit more needing cleaning, using lots of bits. Oops, right, that's made a bit of a mess there, but that's okay. You can clean that. Right. Okay. I'll pause you. I'm going to wrap some Glad wrap around these, and by then our meatloafs should be ready, and we can sort of have a look at the whole thing together. So it's been a bit of a epic afternoon doing these meals. I've really enjoyed doing them, but yeah, my back, I've had a fall and my back is, anyway, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So we've all finished, and I'll show you what we've got. I'm going to turn you. So we have three meals of what is that one? That is sweet and sour. I've written it on them, sweet and sour chicken. So one for us, one each for my nieces. 2 curry sausages, one each for my nieces. Stuart won't eat it, so I have some bagged up for my lunches, which I'll freeze, and for a little snack this evening. We'll just have a fend for ourselves tea, and that will be mine. The 3 meatloaves are out and look divine, so they look lovely and golden and caramelised on the top. So I'll just bag those up, and yeah, a few dishes to do, which I'll do shortly. I'm going to go and hang the washing out now, and I am so happy with that. I'm going to throw those in the freezer, and my milk has arrived, so I'll whip that up into bits and pieces, keep her in bottles, and I might make some macaroni cheese tonight, but I won't show you how to do it this one. I'll do it another time, I think. I'll just whip it up and add that to the booty. But bye for now. Have a great day.